Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for Tia MOWRY, the next act, season 1, episode 6, y'all. I know I'm a few days late. I had a little bit of a busy weekend. I had a long video I taped for Love is Blind. If y'all did not get to watch it, go over there and watch it. And so you know why I was held up. You know why I was held up. But I'm glad to be here to talk to y'all about my next act. And what they call this episode, they called it Mama Knows Best. Mama Knows Best because the TV mama, Jack K. Harris, was on here. It was good to see Jack K. She looking good. She looking real good. So they called it Mama Knows Best. But as you can tell from my thumbnail, I am changing the name to Exhausting. Exhausting.
You're exhausting.
Tia is exhausting, y'all. They would have to pay me to be her friend. They would have to send me a check to be her friend. Because there's one thing I realized about Tia in this episode. I didn't realize this episode. We've been knowing it. But Tia's exhausting, y'all. And she don't know how to be alone. Tia does not know how to be alone. They would need to pay me to be her friend because she drains you. She drains you. I know the TV mama, Jack K, was on here trying to throw some shade at Corey.
I thought he was broke.
Talking about the Corey went through a period of time where he was making less than Tia, and they started having this whole conversation about stroking a man's ego and all this other kind of stuff. But I'm gonna tell you what, when a man makes less than you and you're complaining about how he don't make no money, then all of a sudden the minute he's divorced from you, he starts making the most money he ever made. That tells you something.
I'm rich, bitch! Hey.
That tells you something. That tells you what was going on with him while y'all was together, that he wasn't able to get into his groove.
This woman has drained me.
What was he distracted over? To the point that now that you're divorced and he's on his own, he's able to hit his stride and get in his groove and make more money than ever. I know some of y'all out there are going to say because he was lazy and he was at home, and by the time he got away from Tia because she was carrying him, he finally had to earn his own money and go to work. Nah. You know what I think it is?
This woman has drained me.
I think because Tia herself is a job. Tia is a job, y'all. I'm going to tell you that right now. Tia is a whole job. And I'm telling you, that's why I know they would have to pay me to be her friend, because I would lose a lot of money being her friend because she's so draining. What would happen is I would use up so much of my energy to support her that I wouldn't use my energy to make myself better. That's who Tia is. She is a drain. She is a really big drain. You know, in this episode, it started off with her going to a new audition and her seeing like an old producer or casting director she hadn't seen for a long time. I think his name was Billy Woodruff. And he was like, what you doing here? What you doing here, Tia, for this audition? She goes, well, I'm here to read. I'm here to audition. He says, you can't be here. This role is for an older woman around 46 years old. And Tia's like, well, what are you talking about? I'm 46 years old. He said, but you read like you 31. You read like you 31. That's good and bad. The truth of the matter is, it's good when you 46 years old like Tia is, but you look younger than you are. That's wonderful. But what he's saying is this role was built for a more mature woman, and you don't have the maturity of a 46-year-old woman. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying, that, you know what, Tia looks great. She looks really great. She looks far younger than she is. She looks great. But right up here, the mental capacity.
You're exhausting.
The ability to navigate life and navigate situations. She don't navigate it like a 46-year-old woman. I'm telling you, there's some 46-year-old women that are grandmothers. Tia still darn needs, I'm telling you, she needs so many people around her. So many people around her. She was still talking about how she don't know if she want Cairo to go into the industry and be an actress. That's fine, because Cairo says she don't want to do it anyway. She's like, I really don't know if I want Cairo to be subjected to all this rejection you have in the acting world. Well, then don't subject her.
I don't want it.
Don't subject her. But once again, we saw some tears this episode. You know Tia gonna cry. Last week, we got a reprieve from the crying. We were like, thank goodness, no tears last week. But we only got 1 week off. It was like a 1 week vacation. You were like, a 1 week vacation? I need at least some extra days. Nope, not with Tia. Not with Tia. Like I said, Tia would need to send me a check every single week to be her friend. But she's a lot of work.
You pay now. No.
She's a lot of work. So what does she do when she needs a lot of attention? On this episode, she goes, oh, I miss my family support. I miss my TV family support. She's like, I'm tired of going on these auditions where I'm just a cast member or I'm just acting. I miss also having the support of like a TV family. Girl, goodness. So she calls in her old TV mom, Jackie, to come on in and tell her mama knows best and give her a little bit of love. She's like, I need a little bit of love from my TV mama.
I think I need a hug.
But before the mama can even get there, we got to have a whole another crying episode with Tia. And this time she's crying over the fact that what she's realizing is she's going to have to sort of let this love interest, Charles, she's going to have to let him go. And he over here text messaging her while she's doing a little painting exercise with her daughter. And she said, right now is not the time. She is juggling a lot. She busy. Now, remember, one of the things that Tia had when she was married, she felt that her life was too busy and that she was doing too much. And she felt that she was doing it all alone and she didn't have a partner to do it with. And now here she is single as a single mother. And what she's figured out is now she's got to juggle even more.
What's the difference?
And she's like, this dating world is hard. It's hard juggling the dating world. Well, Tia, it was hard trying to improve your marriage. It was hard trying to juggle your marriage along with your businesses, your acting and parenting. Now what you thought was, hey, I'm going to substitute trying to juggle my marriage and make my marriage better and the work I would have to do with marriage. And I'm going to substitute that for the dating world. And somehow or another, Tia thought the dating world, juggling the dating world would be easier than juggling her marriage. Nope, it wasn't.
Duh.
Tia ain't built for this world. Tia is not built from this world. And another reason why Tia is not built for this world, and when I say this world, the world of dating and being single and being alone, is because Tia don't like to be alone. Let me tell you the most eye-opening part of this whole episode when I knew Tia don't know how to be alone. I don't know if y'all picked up on it, but there was a scene when Tia's in that dark room again and she's about to start crying and she's getting up out of bed. And what I noticed is that Tia only sleeps on one side of the bed. All y'all who live with someone and all y'all who share a bed with someone every single night, you got your side and he got his side, he or she or whoever you sleep with that night. You each got your side. And when your significant other, whoever you sleep with, when they go away, what do you end up doing at first? Do you end up stretching across the whole bed? Or do you sometimes find yourself on the same side of the bed you sleep on when they're there? A couple of times I found myself, like if my husband's out of town or somewhere, at first I start off on my side of the bed, then I realize, wait a minute, he ain't coming to this bed. Let me stretch out. And then I'd be stretching out across the whole bed, and it feels good. It feels so good. Yippee! But what I noticed about Tia is she still sleeps on one side of the bed as if Corey's coming back home. This tells me she hasn't fully embraced single life. Because if you fully embrace single life, you know what you're doing? You stretching across that whole bed. You doing spread eagle. You doing everything. She only sleeps on one side of the bed. Tia not made for this life, y'all. She is not made for this life. And like I said, she's feeling so lonely again. She got to call in her TV mom, Jackie Harris.
I think I need a hug.
And I didn't know Jackie been married like 4 times. Tia's like, what's your advice considering you've been married 4 times? Damn, girl! Woo! I guess she been there. She goes, you've been there with me through my whole life. When I met Corey, when I got engaged to Corey, when I married Corey. She's saying you have always been there for her. And come to find out, she's still close with Tamara as well. In fact, she told us she had just gone and hung out with Tamara up in Napa Valley, because we know that's where Tamara lives. And she talked about how beautiful where Tamara lives, how beautiful it is. And Tia's like, I need to get some of this wisdom from you, Auntie Jackie. And Auntie Jackie tells her, well, let me tell you something, girl. You can't have it all. At least not all at once. You know who else said that? Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama told all these young people out here, listen, people, you can't have it all. Not at once.
She said
I heard what she said.
You might can have it throughout your lifetime, but it's very hard to get it all at one time. It's really hard to be the career woman, the boss woman, the mother, all these things all at once. It really, really is difficult. But you can have moments in your life when you experience it all. And what you have to be patient on is that it will get to you. And when it came to Corey's money, it came to Corey once he broke up with her.
I'm rich, bitch! Hey!
Which tells me, who was stopping Corey's money all this time? I know Jack K was on here talking about how Corey had an attitude because there were some years in there where he wasn't working. Probably he's an actor. Lots of actors have slow years, especially during them COVID years. That's when I bet his slow acting was, because I think Corey's been in some good shows recently. Wasn't he an All-American, the Shy, a bunch of other things? So I think there might have been some years in which he probably had some dry spells, especially around COVID time, because there was a lot of actors and actresses out of business, out of work during COVID. And more than likely, they was living off of the royalties coming from Tamara. That's to me, Tia rather. That's probably what they were doing. They were living off the royalties of Tia during those slow, dark years. And Corey probably was depressed. He probably was depressed. And we know a man that ain't making no money and not bringing in the money or as much money as he wants to, that man can get irritable. He can get a bad attitude. He can be down on himself.
You got a bad attitude, friend.
And but that's what marriage is. Marriage has so many twists and turns, ups and downs, that if you're going to be married a long time, more than likely you're going to be married during the time when at least one person in the household might go through a period of job transition. You see, because if you're married 20 years, think about it. During the course of 20 years, someone could experience some sort of job transition. Someone could experience a health issue. Someone can experience these big things in life that can bring in depression. You can experience a death in the family of a loved one. You can experience a job loss. You can experience a health crisis. And this is the thing about when you're married, when you have a spouse who goes through any one of these life-changing moments, more than likely depression can enter the house. More than likely depression can enter the house. Now, remember what I said about Tia. She's exhausting. She's a lot of work.
You're exhausting.
She's a lot of work if you're healthy. She's a lot of work if you're healthy and you're working, right? Let's say you're vibrant and you're in a good mood and you're healthy, you're working, you got your good health, you got a good job, and you feel like, you know what, I'm whole right now, so I have the ability to give something to Tia. I have the ability to pour into Tia because, like I said, Tia is very, very needy. She needs to send me a check.
You pay now! Now!
But imagine if you're going through your own situation. Imagine that you're going through your own situation and now you're experiencing job loss, or you're experiencing a health situation, or you're experiencing something where you're drained, that you don't have enough to carry Tia because you barely held it on yourself. Where is Tia there as a support for that person? See, that's what I suspect happened. I do suspect that there was a time when Corey's money was low. I do suspect there was a time, just like Jack K said, where he wasn't making as much money or bringing into the household as he even wanted or as Tia wanted. There probably was a time when they were living more off of her salary or her royalties. And I bet during that time, Corey was really down on himself, and I bet he was depressed. And I bet he had a bad attitude.
You got a bad attitude, friend.
All of it. All of it. I bet all those things happen. Now, what I'm wondering about, now that I know who Tia is, was Tia able to step up in that moment and provide emotional support to him? And I don't think so. I don't think so. Because the more you listen to Tia and her relationships, it's all about people being there for Tia. It's really not about Tia being there for other people. Every time she mentions her friends, she talks about how they were there for her. Remember, her cousin Jerome has come here to visit her, okay? And he stayed. Now he's getting ready to leave. He's about to go on back to wherever he lives. And soon as he leaves, what does Tia say? Oh, it's lonely in this house because Jerome's not here no more.
Oh, I'm lonely. I'm so lonely.
And the kids are over there, her dad's house. So here you have a moment, a long time. Jerome just left. The kids are over at Corey's house for the weekend. What does Tia need to do? She needs to invite over her girlfriends because she don't want to be alone. Let me have a pajama party because she don't know how to be alone. She does not have how to fill the empty spaces. So like I said, imagine Corey was depressed. Imagine Corey's money was down. Imagine that he wasn't working during COVID years or whatever else. Do you really think that Tia was there to maybe carry Corey for a little while emotionally? I don't think so.
Probably not.
And what I believe is because he wasn't there for her, I bet they really did have some marital problems. They had to have some marital problems because who's Tia going to be leaning on? Who's she going to drain at this moment? Corey can't do it. Corey can't do it. Like I said, the sister, Tamara, already told us she don't have time for Tia. She already said she does not have time because she's busy with her own life and Tia's a lot of work. Tia's a lot. But see, I know that Tia don't see any of this. She does not see it whatsoever. Jackie said something interesting about the two sisters. She said Tia was the one that was ambitious, career-oriented, and she also kind of had more of a little sex appeal. And Tamara was more on the producer side. She's more of the idea person, right? Which I believe, I could see what Jackie was saying, which means Tia was ambitious. She's very career-oriented. So maybe during those years when Corey was low on the money, I bet she was probably voicing a lot of discontent and a lot of discomfort with it. That's just what I suspect. And I bet she was also not feeling supported because, that's something she started talking about why she got a divorce, because she felt alone. She felt alone in the marriage. These moments are going to come, but it's all about how you handle them. And from what I can tell, like I said, I've only been watching this show now. What is this, episode 6 or 7? I've only been watching this show for a little bit. But what I hear from Tia really tells me that Tia is really not the person who pours into other people. She's the one that sits back and lets you pour into her. Because she sat here and talked about, like, why do I need to be stroking a man's ego? She don't feel like it's her job. She does not feel like it's her job to lift up another person. But she definitely loves to be in the receiver chair. She loves to sit in the chair and receive because, like I said, Jerome's in the house. She done flown this man out to keep her company. Now that he's gone, she done flown in her TV mom to keep her company. And now that he's gone, now she's bringing her girlfriends over for a slumber party because she don't like to be alone. And in fact, let me tell you something. She brought the young ladies over. She said, I just want to thank you all. I want to thank you guys all there for being with me. You're always there for me. I know they are. I know all these friends are there. They're always there for Tia. They need to start asking for a check. They need to start asking for a check for Tia because Tia's work. She's so much work that Corey couldn't even do his real job, which is acting.
This woman has drained me.
But the minute they got a divorce, guess what? Now Corey's making more money than he ever made.
I'm rich, bitch! Hey!
Are you an asset or are you a drain? Are you an asset or are you drain on someone? Are you draining someone of their enthusiasm and skill and vibrancy so they can go out and be the best person that they are? Are you draining them or are you pouring in them? And I'm telling you right now that Tia drains people. She drained her sister. That's why her sister's checked out a little bit. Honestly, to be honest with you, the reason why she ain't seen Jerome in a long time is I think she drained him too. She drained him because they had always been close. So I was wondering why he ain't even seen Cairo in 6 years, because Tia's a lot of work. And that's what he said when he got here. That's why they had to give him a check. Like I said, you'd have to pay me. The way they got Jerome to come out and hang out with Tia for 2 weeks or however long this was, they had to pay him.
You pay now! Now!
Because for 6 years, as long as Cairo was born, Jerome said, I ain't coming out there and hanging out with Tia because she's too much work. Unless you give me a check, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And more than likely, she was a lot of work with her husband, and he couldn't stay on his grind. He couldn't stay focused on what he needed to do because he was too busy all the time trying to pour into Tia. Because like I said before, Tia is an empty cup. She is an empty cup. But the minute he was able to wrangle himself free, the minute Tia let him go because she divorced him, all of a sudden he could focus on himself. And guess what?
I'm rich, bitch! Hey!
He has made more money than he's ever made in his entire life, just in the 1.5 years he's been divorced from Tia. Girl, Jack K said you can't have it all. She did say that. She said, but you can have it all at different points in your life. Well, Tia, you missed the part where you could be with Corey and he made more money than he ever made. Woo! Tia said, I was waiting on this moment for 14 years, 15 years for the moment when Corey would make more money than me. But I got tired. I drained him so much. And by the time the moment finally came around, we was divorced. We was divorced. I tell you. So she sat there and she cried because she had to call Charles up and tell Charles, hey, Charles, we're not going to be able to date because I'm too busy. I'm too busy over here crying in my bedroom in this dark room all the time. And I don't know what I was thinking when I thought that if I was busy when I was a mother and an actress and trying to juggle married life, I don't know why I thought in my head I would have more free time to date.
Duh.
But I didn't think it through. But now that I'm out here, Charles, I got to let you know I ain't got no time to date you. I don't have any time because what she said to herself out of her own mouth, she said to herself, I'm starting to feel like I'm doing it again. Doing what? Doing what, Tia? Too much on your plate? You're starting to feel like there's too much on your plate because all you substituted was a husband for the dating life. And let me tell you, finding out that the dating life is more work than that husband was.
What's the difference?
Duh.
You finding out that dating is more work than the husband was, and you're finding out that your cup is running empty once again. Your cup is running empty one more time. So she said she need to work on herself first. If that's true, you absolutely need to work on yourself before you get out here and start trying to date other people. And she brings her friends over and they have a good they have a good dinner. She brings in a chef to cook for the girls. And they have some good old food, some good old wine, some good old conversations. She lets the girls know that she had to break up with Charles. And they were like, yeah, that's probably best. And she told her, girl, you shouldn't be letting that man know where you live anyway. Tia had given that man her whole address. He was showing up over there in a green suit and a corsage, talking about, I'm gonna take you to the prom you missed. They were like, girl, you ain't ready for this dating life. You don't even know the precautions to take on out here in the world.
You're not ready.
You don't know the precautions to take out here in the world. And finally, the girlfriends came through with some good advice. They finally told her that she needs to slow it down and she needs to focus on herself. Finally, some good advice. And the best advice of all, all season long, I've been saying these girlfriends have been giving her bad advice. But finally, they came through with some good advice. And they said to Tia, listen, Tia, you need to learn how to be happy with yourself first before you try to find somebody else that's going to make you happy.
Say it one more time, Frosty.
And there it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. There it is right there. And that's what I'm saying. I can definitely see probably happen with her and Corey. You see, like I said, I can understand that there was a dry period with Corey when his money was low, like I said, or he wasn't making as much as he wanted. And therefore, he probably was in his own depression.
You got a bad attitude, friend.
He was in his own depression, but Tia never learned how to make herself happy. So what happens when you're always dependent upon someone else to make you happy, and then that person you're dependent upon also goes into their own funk, their own depression? You sitting there not knowing what to do. So not only do you not know how to make yourself happy, you don't even have any joy or any ability to help your friend get out of their funk.
I can't help you.
They funk. Tia tells this story that when she got divorced from Corey, that She called over her friend. I forget what the friend's name, the one with the curly hair. She called over her friend because she didn't want to be alone in the house again. So her friend came over and lived with her for like about 4 days or a whole week.
Oh, I'm lonely. I'm so lonely.
A good friend. I'm telling you, she'd have to send me a check. She would have to send me a check. Now, I'm willing to come over your house, girl, and have a drink with you and maybe spend the night one time. But you mean to tell me I got to leave my whole family, my whole house, my whole life to come over and stay with you for a whole week? You don't want to ask for this divorce? I don't know. Am I cold-hearted or what? But I'm telling you right now, Tia can't go through nothing alone. She don't know how to do it. She don't know how to be in alone spaces. She don't know how to pick herself up. But then she want to probably nitpick on other people. She even said that when she had to go get ready to sign her divorce papers, she had to take her girlfriend for that so her girlfriend could hold her hand. I'm not saying we don't need support out here. That's why I don't want to come off like I'm saying we don't need support, because we all do. But when you look at these moments in life with Tia, she can't do nothing on her own. Nothing. She's not built for it. She's not going to last out here. She made a big, big, big mistake. She made a big mistake, y'all.
You're not ready.
She's over here when she has these young ladies at dinner with the private chef and they eating all this good food and drinking this good wine. She says, I just want to thank you girls. You know, well, you've always been there for me. And if I need someone to talk to at 3 a.m., I know I could call you. Don't be calling me at 3 a.m. I must be a horrible friend. My phone gonna be on silent. Let me tell you something. I tell everybody in my family, listen, my phone goes off. If it's an emergency, anybody calling, if it's an emergency, you better call. You better call his phone, because he gonna keep his phone on. But me and myself, I'm gonna be asleep. Calling me at 3 a.m. so you could cry, Tia, like I said, run me my money, because Tia's a lot of work. She's a lot of work. She talking about here, I could call you at 3 a.m. to cry to you.
You're exhausting.
I'm tired of you crying now, Tia. Talking about calling me at 3 a.m. to cry to me and listen to me, and you 46-year-old girl. You can't call me Can you call me tomorrow at 8 a.m.? I get up early. I could talk to you at 8, but 3 o'clock in the morning?
Anyway, I gotta go. I'm going to bed.
Girl. They there for her, but is she there for them? No, she ain't. I'm telling you right there, Tia ain't there for nobody. Tia's not there for anyone. She may express a lot of gratitude for these young ladies, but I never heard these young ladies saying, yeah, that's okay, Tia, because you always there for us too. I never heard that. I never heard when she was saying thank you to them, they say, you know what? No, thank you. You've been there for me plenty of times too. We didn't hear it. We didn't hear it one bit. Like I said, run me my money. Run me a check. And she said, the reason why I like you, Natasha, is because you protect my heart. And Sierra, you protect my mental health. Girl, I hope these two younglings is getting paid a good check for this episode, because all the years they done put in to be friends with Tia, they deserve a big paycheck. A big, big paycheck. A big paycheck. She says she left her marriage because her marriage no longer served her. There it is right there.
What does that mean?
Girl, you're not here. The marriage is not here to serve you. Biggest mistake. You here to serve the marriage. I hate to tell you, the marriage is not here to serve you. You're here to serve the marriage, and depending on what you put on in the marriage is what you get out of it. It's like a dividend. It's like a return. How much money did you put in? The more you invest, the more you get back sometimes. And I think what Tia believes is that she's able to sit back and receive. And probably what happened when she said the marriage was no longer serving her, it probably came a point in time when she was saying to herself, I'm no longer getting out of the marriage what I want and what I need. But did she at any point in time really evaluate whether or not she was investing in the marriage?
Probably not.
I don't think that she was. I really don't see it, because I'm telling you, this whole episode long was about investing in Tia. You don't really see Tia investing in nobody else. Now, somebody can say, well, that's what the series is about. It's about people investing in Tia. No, that's not what it's about. It's about Tia and her next act, getting her life back together. But sometimes the way that you start to see blessings come back in your life is to give to others. But no, all Tia did all season long was receive from other people. Come keep me company. Come let me cry on your shoulder. Come boost me up. Come do this for me. Come support me. Come. Damn, girl! Who is Tia supporting? Nobody. That's why none of her family's around, because they probably wasn't getting no big enough check, because it's a lot of work. A lot of work.
This is gonna take a lot of work.
A lot of work. She told these girls one last time, she says, you know what, sometimes I feel underwater, and you guys are always there to come lift me up. There you go. She always needs somebody to save her. She's using the right metaphors. She's using the right analogies, that she's often underwater and she always needs somebody to come up out of there and save her. That's exhausting, to always have to be the lifeguard in someone else's life.
She cannot swim. The girl cannot swim.
And Tia thinks that's the way it's supposed to look. That I love having people around me so that they can always be the lifeguard for my life. Girl, no, you better learn how to swim.
She cannot swim. The girl cannot swim.
You better learn how to swim. Just like her friends told you, why don't you learn how to love yourself first before you start going into a relationship and then requiring that person to love you?
Say it one more time, Frosty.
No, why don't you fill your cup up first, and I can give you some refills. I can definitely give you some refills, but this idea that I got to be the one to completely fill up your cup all the time, every day, no, that's exhausting. Don't nobody want that job. Like I said, run me my money.
This is gonna take a lot of work.
Run me my money. Anyway, that's all I got, y'all, for this Tia episode. Like I said, I'm tired. I am tired. She's exhausting. I think we got a couple of more episodes. I really want Tia to turn around in these last 2 episodes. I need her to turn it around. We cannot leave Tia where we found her. We can't. I don't want to see no tears on episode 7 and 8. We've been crying since episode 1. I don't want to see no tears episode 7 and 8, Tia. Let's make some progress, Tia. Like I said, we can't be the lifeguards in your life all the time. You need to learn how to swim. Float. Kick your feet. Move your arms. Learn how to swim, Tia. Learn. Talk to y'all later. Bye.